Howdy. So, wanted to tell you about my best friend in high school. When I was in high school, I got much more of a social life, much more of a fitting in feeling, both because I was part of the music department as well as because I was part of the drama and musical theater departments, and you know, we all clicked. But in my junior year, there was a freshman, so this person's 2 years behind me, that I met at some party with some friends, and he started becoming my best friend. His name is Jerry, and Jerry was 2 years behind me, but we hung out with the same core group. He was part of that. I don't even know how that happened, but he just ended up being in it, and we clicked and we hung out a lot. Jerry was considered to be a very odd person. He was extremely flamboyant. He was into theater and makeup and hair and productions and how they're done. And he ended up working in some community theater while I was in high school, and myself and several other people participated in those community theater productions. Jerry would be single-handedly going around and doing all the women's makeup and hair. Even though they had somebody working on them, they weren't happy with it, the master has to come over. So Jerry came over, and he always did well with it. I lost track of him after I graduated and went into Boston Conservatory of Music. That really changed my social circle. And you know, he was an upperclassman of high school at that point, and I was out of college, and I don't know, people just drift, right? When we were young, a lot of people made fun of Jerry because he was so incredibly over-the-top flamboyant. But, and here's a big caveat, certainly back then, people thought he was gay, right? Like one of the most flamboyant people that are, you know, in the school, and he's a master at hair and makeup and women's gowns, and he knows how to sew and all that stuff, right? But he was sleeping with girls. Girls were extremely drawn to him. He was a fairly handsome kid, but what brought them to him is that he was able to interact with them, making them feel safe and making them feel special. He was a master at it. And not only was Jerry kind of like king of the girls, he scored so much. But there were also a couple guys that he had hooked up with. I was not one of them, actually. But I hooked up with the guy. Never mind. Anyway, one of our friends was having a problem with his girlfriend. Somehow, I think at his suggestion to her, he thought she was upset that he had a smaller penis. And she mentioned at some point, I mean, I'm hearing this third person. So this kid was convinced that it was because he had a smaller penis. That's why this girl announced that she had never had an orgasm with him. So this kid said, sleep with Jerry. Everybody likes to sleep with Jerry. And he probably has a dick that's bigger than mine. So sleep with Jerry. So she did. And it was bigger than this other kid's. And she had orgasms. She said she had a couple. And now this kid was kind of real mad, but mad at himself that he had her even find that out, because look what happened. But it was shortly after that time that I lost track of Jerry. About 15 years ago, I was working at the vintage jewelry store that I worked at. And in comes Jerry. And Jerry still looks almost exactly like he did in high school. He recognized me first. And he was there because he was working with a movie production that was filming here in Boston. And he was one of the hair people. And I learned that Jerry did almost every film that was done here in Boston. So Mystic River, Gone Girl, you know, all those films that take place in Boston, obviously are filmed in Boston for the most part. So Jerry says to me, "Hey, Joey," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, oh my God, oh, hey." We decided he was going to come over that Saturday and, you know, have dinner and catch up. So I head to Saturday, right? He comes over my house and we're talking pretty normal. In fact, in many ways, Jerry was talking exactly like he did back in high school. Not even as an adult version of that, but still quite a young-ish personality. So Jerry came over and, you know, we caught up and started talking about the old days and stuff. And yeah, I mean, it was a really good conversation. We had a nice time. So I hadn't really heard from, you know, Jerry up until that point. And he told me that he did a lot of the Boston films, and he had gone out to the West Coast a few times to be part of the hair department in movies out there. And so I IMDb'd him, and he actually is there. And as I read through the list of shows that he has done and how he's moved up from assistant to hairdresser to head hairdresser to head of the entire makeup and hair departments, he moved his way up. And he started doing some of the biggest movies. And I remember even as I watched the credits, seeing he was like the personal dresser of certain big women stars. It was amazing. And then I saw a way to watch a video about him. And I started watching it. And it was my friend Jerry at the EMMY Awards. Emmy Awards. And he had just won for The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. There's a particular hairstyle in that episode, I guess. I've never seen it, but the hairstyle kind of looks like a wedding cake, Jerry says in his speech that he gave at the Emmys. I mean, all the time that Jerry and I hung out and we did theater and music and all that, I was always telling him that I wanted to be one of the EGOT people. EGOT, Emmys, Grammys, Oscars, and Tonys. So I wanted an Emmy. But my friend Jerry, who never wanted an Emmy, he never said he wanted to work on movies when we were growing up. He had it as a hobby, he really loved it, and he was really good at the hair. But Jerry ends up with an Emmy. He's got my Emmy. No, I'm so proud of him. I mean, that's amazing. All the movies he's done, and the fact he becomes personal dresser assistant kind of person to these big ass name stars. A lot of women and some of the big name guys. I don't have a list to tell you. But Jerry's quite amazing. And in my pursuit in entertainment, which I had abandoned years ago, and now I'm trying a little bit back. You know, I have such respect for him. He always worked hard at it, and he was so creative. So creative. It was nice. And then of course we fell out again of not not talking for any particular reason. We just drifted apart again. And now, he probably gives these fabulous parties in Beverly Hills. He's probably going to get a reality show about Jerry doing like major stars' hair. I mean, I would never want to do that. You know, stylist, hairdresser kind of person is it not my kind of thing. There's a guy online that does videos, Instagram. It's Alpha M, A-L-P-H-A, Alpha space M. He's a style person. I'm not in any way a stylish person. So I would not be interested in doing the hard work that he did. I mean, I'm so proud of him. I'm so proud of him that he could do that. And for all those guys that teased him in high school, and Jerry took it, you know, he wouldn't back down and he took it. And but if they by any remote chance remember his name from school tied in with what they're seeing at the Emmy Awards, unbelievable, truly. Okay guys, I am psyched because today is my second vaccine. That means 2 weeks from today, I will be fully vaccinated and I will be heading back to the gym. I'm so excited. I can't stand it. Okie dokie, I'm all parked. I'm ready to go in, get the second vaccine. They do say that the second Moderna, which is what I'm getting, the Moderna vax, the second one, some people have more severe symptoms from. So I'm going to be wary of that. Kind of expect tomorrow I'm not really going to plan on doing very much, just in case. But I usually don't have strong reactions, so I'm hoping things will be good. So off I go, and I will check in with you later. Bye. You know something? I am very fortunate in that I go to a gay health center. They're wonderful. They have a lot of gay people work there, primarily gay people. They have a lot of transsexuals, which are very comfortable there. It's just a great environment for LGBTQ+, including the plus. But it was weird. They set up a clinic on a separate floor than it was for the first vaccine. I was on the regular medical floor for the first one. And this time I went up to the 4th floor, which was set up just as the clinic. And there was only me and one other guy in there. They took me early. They took me about 20 minutes early as soon as I got there, as a matter of fact. And then I had to wait the 15 minutes to make sure I wasn't gonna die. And now I'm headed home. And I was talking to the nurses because I had heard something and I wanted to know if it was true, and it is. And that is that this second vaccine, people are tending to get more of a reaction to it. 12 to 24 hours of flu-like symptoms. So that's all right. I'll buckle down and hunker down and do it. 2 weeks from today, I get to go back to the gym, and just things are looking up, and I'm so happy. And again, for those of you who might be hesitant about the vaccine, really don't be. It's safe, it's effective, it doesn't hurt to get the vaccine. Little bit the next day. At least it was on the first one, and I'll let you know if I get sick from this second one or not. But in 2 weeks, my vaccines have fully kicked in, and I'm as vaccinated as I can be. And so that's when I'm going to go back to the gym, and fingers crossed everything goes good there. So excited. It's St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. So that's my story of the week. I will be back next week. Happy St. Patrick's Day to my Irish brothers and sisters out there. I am half Irish, and thank you for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. If you like the video, if you give me a thumbs up, that would be really great. Meanwhile, I'll talk to you soon. Take care. Thanks. Bye for now.